Welcome to part 2 of our investigation into the shadow economy of rural tourism. While we previously explored the unfair financial advantages of the volunteer model, today we look at the structural rot beneath the surface. We will examine hidden brand damage, terrifying insurance gaps, and the inescapable quality trap that threatens the very foundation of the Swedish hospitality industry. It is time to look beyond the immediate price tag. While our previous discussion focused on the economics of unfair competition, this session dives into the long-term systemic risks. We are moving from a discussion about money to a discussion about the structural collapse of professional standards. The first major issue is the human capital crisis. Tourism is a high-level professional service that requires expertise in safety, culture, and hospitality. Currently, the industry faces a turnover rate of 23 to 35%, more than double that of the industrial sector. Relying on transient volunteers drains this expertise rather than building it. By choosing free labor, businesses aren't just saving on wages. They are hemorrhaging the human capital needed to thrive as a premium destination. This leads us into the quality trap, a race to the bottom. It is a vicious cycle. The need for cheaper labor leads to a reliance on unskilled staff. This results in lower service quality and a damaged reputation, which eventually forces price reductions. To survive those lower prices, businesses become even more dependent on free labor. It is a feedback loop that devalues the entire Swedish tourism brand. Then, there is the insurance nightmare. Many hosts operate under the dangerous myth that their standard business insurance covers everyone on their property. In reality, insurance providers often exclude unregistered volunteers. If an injury occurs during maintenance or cleaning, the claim is almost always denied. Without a legal employment contract, these workers are effectively invisible to the state's protection systems. When the safety net fails, the host pays. You become personally liable for medical costs, rehabilitation, and legal damages. Furthermore, you face retroactive social fees from the authorities. These risks can easily reach hundreds of thousands of Swedish crowns, a cost that far outweighs any temporary savings from free labor. We must also address the legal reality of room and board. According to the Swedish tax agency, free food and housing is legally considered a salary. For the coming year, the assessed value of full board is 310 Swedish crowns per day. Failure to declare these benefits is tax evasion, depriving the local community of the revenue needed for essential infrastructure like roads and healthcare. Beyond the numbers lies a culture of silence. Illegal work status creates a power imbalance that prevents the reporting of abuse. Workers often feel they cannot speak up about poor living conditions or harassment because reporting would expose their own visa violations. This environment is a breeding ground for exploitation. The visa trap is particularly dangerous for non-EU citizens. For those on tourist visas, commercial labor is strictly forbidden. Even receiving a bed in exchange for help requires a work permit. The threat of deportation is real, and for many travelers, the fear of migration authorities far outweighs any labor protections they might technically have. Digital platforms like Workaway and Worldpackers facilitate these connections, but take zero responsibility for the consequences. Their disclaimers are clear. Responsibility for legal and tax compliance rests solely with the host. They provide the tools for recruitment, but leave the business owner to face the tax agency and the migration board alone. Sweden is currently falling behind its neighbors in addressing this. While France requires formal contracts for service for lodging, and the United Kingdom mandates a minimum wage for obligated hours, Sweden remains an unregulated grey zone. This regulatory vacuum leaves honest Swedish entrepreneurs vulnerable to unfair competition. By embracing this model, we are trading away our future. With a recruitment need of 137,000 people over the next 3 years, every free traveler replaces a potential local job. We are losing the next generation of Swedish entrepreneurs by removing the first rung of the career ladder for our youth. The union response has been clear. The Hotel and Restaurant Workers Union has implemented a practice stop during the peak summer season. Their rationale is simple. Summer work is production, not education. This is a necessary defensive measure against the devaluation of the industry. Ultimately, it comes down to a choice. The hobbyist model brings high risk, audit exposure, and personal liability. The professional model offers stability, quality assurance, and sustainable growth. Is the short-term saving of free labor really worth the risk of losing your business? Sustainable Swedish tourism must be fair, professional, and fully insured. True cultural exchange is a vital part of travel, but it should never be used to mask a business's core labor needs. Thank you for joining us, and we invite you to read our other articles on labor market ethics and other topics to learn how we can protect the integrity of the Swedish countryside together.